Hey, everybody. It's Matthew Orr from Wet Ink Games back with you again for another interview with one of our creative team. And today I'm joined by Mike Mumah, and he is an artist, a writer, children's book illustrator. He's got credits in comics. He's got a forthcoming comic. He's got just all over the place. His work has appeared Babylon 5, Shadowrun material, a bunch of different Palladium books. He's worked for Wet Ink Games. He's worked for Third Eye Games. Quite an accomplished, one of the few actually legitimate professional nerds that I know. So, Mike, welcome.
Hello, everybody.
All right, Mike, we're gonna have some questions here so you can get started. And
Okay.
I want to get at least 5 of these. We can skip, so you can pass if you don't have a good answer.
Okay.
But, I want to know what the best board game is.
The best board game.
The best
Wow,
board game.
You can't see it, but just off the screen are hundreds of games. And I actually pinpoint which is my favorite because I love almost all of them. I'm a big fan of Scythe. I play a lot of Marvel Legendary with my son. Captain is Dead is always fun. Yeah, there are so many. I can't really nail it down as to what is my favorite. I like worker placement games. I like deck building games. I'm just a big fan of board games.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, you got a good list there. That's great.
Yeah.
All right. So, what's the best superhero?
The best superhero? Oh, man. All right. If my heels are to the fire and I have to answer it, I gotta say Captain America. And the way that they've shown him in the movies is exactly how I've always pictured Captain America in my mind. Like his personality, what he stands for, and all that stuff. He's just cool. When I was a kid, especially when I was a kid, I was a big fan of 1980s Chris Claremont's Colossus.
Sure.
Because he was a nice guy.
Nice guy.
Who also drew. Oh yeah, and Captain America also draws, which actually is an incidental thing, but yeah, I think that may be why I am drawn to him, so to speak.
Excellent. All right. Best sport. What's the best sport?
Okay. Best sport. I really, really, really like baseball. Hockey is right behind it, but baseball's right up there. And I know a lot of people think it's boring. I think those people are idiots. Because I get more tense with the baseball game than any other game.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can imagine that. All right. So this one, I'm not sure what led me to ask this. It just seems the right question. What's your best golf score?
My best golf score. I think because I actually played golf in high school. I obviously haven't played it in a long time. But my best golf score, I think, was a 38 or a 39. I can't remember which.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
However, I have not been able to shoot below 40 or even below 50 since high school. So, and that's only for 9.
But hey, it stays on your record. Your best ever.
Yeah.
Personal best. It's still your personal best.
That's right.
All right. And last one. What's the best dessert?
The best dessert? Man. See, I hate these questions because I'm not a person that has a favorite anything. I like all of this stuff. I like the panoply of the options. I think something with banana and cream, or like a cheesecake, something in there.
All right.
Or anything with peanut butter. I mean,
how about any dessert? any dessert that you get to eat. That's
Yeah,
the best
yeah.
one.
Actually, my standard answer when somebody says whichever one is in front of me right then.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah,
All right. Thanks for that. The not so lightning round. It's great.
yeah. Thanks.
Um, uh, the so so I know that you live in a town that's not that big, and for those I've never been there, but what I've heard is that you have to take the main road until it runs out, and then you take the gravel road, and then you have to bribe the local wolf pack so that they don't eat you while you make your way to your remote mountain cabin. Maybe
There
I'm
are no
wrong.
mountains in Michigan.
Maybe I've misheard. Maybe I've misheard. But
Yeah,
the
clearly.
idea, you definitely live someplace that's not like bustling big city, and yet you're connected into the publishing world and the gaming industry, and there's got to be some sort of tension there for you between like living and working mentally in like connected to the whole world, and then like looking out your window and you just see your trees or whatever. Like what, what what's that like to be an artist in such a relatively small town?
Well, it's much easier than it used to be, like the past 10, 15 years. So, like, the majority of the time I spent working professionally, as opposed to when I was a kid. Because actually, the town that I grew up in didn't even have a stoplight. We had a stop sign. That was it. Um, and that was actually just south here. I actually live in a small to large town, depending on your perspective. We've got a couple stoplights. My mother will complain about the traffic, which I don't know how she'll complain about the traffic because, at best it'll slow you down by like 3 minutes tops, as opposed to like when I lived in Detroit where, we'd be there until next week. But, um, with the internet, the way it is, like me actually communicating and getting work out there and actually researching and then being able to order things, like nothing is out of my reach anymore. So, nowadays it's fine. Except when I talk to people that actually live here, they have no clue what I do for a living or how it works, so, it's kind of a mixed bag. Like when I talk amongst my friends or work colleagues over the internet or with like Zoom, like I have no problem talking about what I do, except when I talk to people that live here and don't do those kind of things, they're like, I just kind of take a beat and say, I draw comics, and that they get, even though that is not entirely true.
Sure, I get that. Did you have like, I know you had a show at a local gallery there in your town
Yes.
a couple years ago. So did you have to answer that question a lot? Like, were they, I imagine like there's a lot of sweet old ladies who are like, oh, did you draw all these? Or was it more like some people that were there to appreciate what you were up to,
Well, they told me at the time, because it was it's the local art gallery that's in town. They actually had a decent. They have a new gallery opening like every month or two, and what they told me was at the time it was the largest showing they had for a reception there, which like I think at tops there were like 100 people there, and I was one of the artists with one of the local tattoo artists, which she does beautiful work. Sonia Grinnell, Light Touch Studios, just giving her a little plug. She does beautiful work. But I did have women, or like I remember one woman coming up to me, and she was a little sauced from the free wine that they were giving, and she started explaining to me what she came up to me immediately saying what you should do. And when someone who doesn't know anything about the art world starts telling you about what you should do, just kind of smile and nod and like trying to figure out how to get out of the conversation. So, it's just kind of like a weird disconnect.
Sure.
Did I answer the question, or did I segue it all over the place?
No, you answered it in your own style. I love it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So you mentioned like having access to all of the research, the tools, because through the internet you can get a hold of anything you want. So I kind of want to ask you about like the main, for those of you that don't recognize your name, I don't know why they don't, but like I don't know why they're watching this video on our channel if they don't know what work you've done. But the main work you've done for Wet Ink has been the animals for Wild Skies. Like you've done all the animal, the scene setting pieces. So you've illustrated each of the different animal types in the whole game, and all of these put all of them in the situations.
Like the one right behind you.
Oh yeah, like this one that somehow accidentally didn't end up in the book. I don't know how.
That didn't end up in the book. I like that.
I know, that's why I had to put it on my wall, because it was like it didn't end up in the book. I don't know. That was an error in the process of assembling the book. We left one of them out somehow. But so yeah, it lives on my wall there as a reminder that what everyone else got to miss out on.
Yeah.
Not to mess up again, not to lay out a book that doesn't have all the art that we paid for it. But you've done all that work to do all those animal scenes. So like I kind of want to know what your process was for developing this anthropomorphic world, right? And getting that look of like, the one from, I think one of my favorites that you did is the like the fancy party, like the Gatsby style party for and you got the big manatee holding the wine glass, and you've got the dancing with the hyena, and in the snake has a fascinator, and like there's just so many great elements to that scene that it just feels so, it's so good, it's so much, it's an anthro world, and I love it. So can you talk about like kind of the way in which you've accomplished your look?
I honestly think what I was thinking when I was drawing that, why I had so much fun drawing Wild Skies in particular, was I was thinking of Bugs Bunny.
All right.
Like I grew up on like Tex Avery and Bugs Bunny, like a lot of Looney Tunes, like a lot of Warner Brothers cartoons, and like Disney stuff and all that. But then I also really like series sci-fi and fantasy, and like it's kind of all kind of blended together, and like it's so easy for me to make characters out of animals. It's just so simple. Like when you gave me the assignment, I was like, well, this is cake. Like how do I make it? Like I'm looking at the one behind you, and I remember I did have an argument with Brandon, your partner, an argument about the size of the gecko, because he said the minimum size of your player characters were like what was it, 3 feet or something like that.
Yeah,
and so that's where I was having an argument with, like, going, I love the concept of like a little gecko about that tall arguing with the stork who's that that tall. Like to me that was a dynamic I loved. So like in the initial sketch he was tiny, but yeah, so I had to grow him up. But yeah, it's just stuff I love. I love Stephen King. I love all these other things, and like putting them all together and like giving them personality and like having them act like people and stuff like that. It was so simple. Like I for one had a blast with that, and I found that really, really easy.
Well, it's great to hear that we didn't make you work too hard.
Yeah, and most of my research was just like, what does the animal look like? Okay, well then I just give it animal, like you just give it human behaviors. Like, yeah,
well,
that's
pretty
simple. Yeah. Like
Cool.
you have the bird right there, like pounding his hand, like he's trying to make it deal with the thing.
He's doing a
Yeah,
he's pointing at his hand.
yeah,
We
because
we keep talking about it here.
yeah.
Let's bring it up close to the camera so
Sorry,
the
it's my
people can.
first. It's my first time seeing it. What 4 years? So,
I'm not sure.
well, you can. My
The
date is on there.
yeah. 8 18. I guess that's an 18.
Oh, it was
So
only 2 years ago. Well, yeah, I can't even remember the things I did last week. So,
anyway, that's the yeah. It's great. And if you watch my other videos, you know it's not a plant. I didn't just put it up there just for your video. Like, it's been there the whole time.
right on.
Okay, so I want to ask you what's next. What's next, Mike, for you and whatever you're doing in the nerdosphere.
Well, upcoming for weddings games. I'm doing hacking good doggos. Hacking good doggos.
That's right.
Which is, I think, and I can't remember because Brandon told me about it like a year ago, and I just remember the name. So I know I'm drawing dogs.
Dogs.
I mean,
Dogs.
it's not anthro dogs. It's actually
Mm-mm.
drawing dogs.
Yep.
Which actually, like, people commissioned me to actually. I had a person commission me to do a drawing for them just today. So, yeah, I can do that, no problem. I am looking forward to that. But he keeps telling me, hey, next week, or like, yeah, it's coming up really soon. And that was, he's been telling me that for a couple of years. So,
Well, it's definitely in process. It's
yes,
in process.
I know. I tease him, and yeah, I have a lot of fun teasing him. So, let's see what else is up for
Brandon
me.
gets, Brandon. He gets so excited about it. He's got to start talking about it as soon as it's even
yes,
a glimmer in the eye.
yes,
But it takes a lot longer than that to write a book. So
yes, and knowing this and being good friends with Brandon like I am, I will push him under the bus. So, let's see what else is up for me. I'm working on a children's book with Antonio Coleman, who co-wrote. He wrote the first book, the first children's book I did with him, and then he wrote a second book, and then we both we're now listed as co-writers on it. And it's a much larger full color book, and that I couldn't even tell you when that's going to actually be out. I'm pretty close to finishing the art. That's taken a long time, and then I'm also working on my own comic book called Silverdale, which again doesn't have any publishing dates. But yeah, that's been the focus of myself most recently. So
yeah, always got projects on the go. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's right.
So last one here, Mike. Last little bit of the interview. I'm gonna set a timer. Okay. And we're gonna give ourselves 5 minutes, only 5 minutes. So we're gonna start a little bit of brainstorm, and we're gonna and you can bring in your vast board game experience. You can bring in this is what I want to draw, knowledge into it. But we're going to talk about a game, a possible game. We're going to brainstorm a little bit. All right.
Okay.
All right. So I want to do like zombie dinosaurs versus something else. Like, I think I can almost see in my mind how you would draw like a bunch of zombie velociraptors and like just a zombie brontosaurus just smashing through something, but like what is the other side of this epic battle?
I do want to draw this. I really do want to draw this. What they're up against would be the natural enemy of zombie dinosaurs. Something versus aliens.
Aliens?
Yeah, there you go.
Like, I mean, we don't want to do two. Yeah. So, okay. So aliens. So we're doing like you mean like the little green guys with
the little
eyes?
green guys, like in the game Destroy All Humans. those ones always crack me up. Yeah. Actually, we'll go with those. The kind of do the anal probes and crop circles.
All right, so they're going to have maybe a technology aspect, but like
Yeah,
they're all real flimsy compared to dinosaurs.
yeah, but also really not very. They developed their science enough to be able to travel to another world just to mess with them. Like they're they're not doing any actual research. They're just going there to torture local yokels.
Who happen to be zombie dinosaurs on this particular planet.
Yeah, and then they come
All right.
across the Marvel zombies, but it's a dinosaur world.
All right. So what are some things that we would have to have in this game? Like if it's what kind of, like, would it be a sort of fast playing card game? Would it be like more of a something kind of like almost like a like a Stratego type game where it's like kind of slow and like every side has their setup and it's strategic? Would it be like are you going to be like
I'm seeing
humans that are in this battle? Like, are you going to play?
Yeah,
like,
the humans have got to be caught in the crossfire.
So then it could be like a role-playing game where you've got like this epic battle happening and you're in the middle of it as players.
Yeah, they're not actually fighting against you. They're fighting against each other, but you were stuck in the middle.
Right. Sort of like the whoever wins, we lose motto that they had for the Alien versus Predator movie.
And we got lost on that one.
Well, it did turn out that way.
Yes.
All right. So what's the first sort of like scene that you see? Like the it's got to be a battlescape of some sort. Like what's the first zombie dinosaur versus alien picture that you're forming in your mind?
Well, okay, the aliens have got to be giant in size as well, like the Zentradi.
All right.
So they can actually go toe to toe with the dinosaurs.
I like that.
Yeah. So yeah, they would see, and for whatever reason, they don't use projectiles. They don't use laser guns. They're just like, you can fly the ship, but they can't make a laser.
Okay.
Because the science isn't there.
Sure. Why not? So
why not?
They have like intergalactic spaceships, but still fight with like clubs.
Yeah. Or
wrestling moves.
Yeah.
All right. So
they'll do Greco-Roman wrestling.
Yeah. So now I'm seeing like a giant gray Zentradi style alien like suplexing a zombie T-Rex.
That's right.
Just Zangief style over the back pile drive like into the jungle, I guess. I don't know.
In fact, all the aliens, they got their technology. They got their society was built Galaxy Quest style off the historical records, which all happen to be wrestling.
All right.
Yeah, it's the only thing that traveled across the galaxies is wrestling footage.
Is wrestling. All right. I like it.
It's only on all the time.
It's only on all the time.
Yeah.
All right. And yeah, I don't know. Like that's all right. I think you did some good work there.
Right.
Some good ideas. Coming soon in 2022.
Yeah, right.
Space wrestlers versus zombie dinosaurs.
That's right.
Great. Mike, thanks for joining me today on this call, being silly with me, being serious with me. Do you have any final word for the people that are watching this video?
Stay saucy.
All right. There you go. Words of wisdom to live by, everybody.
There you go.
Thanks for watching the video. Mike, thanks again. And say goodbye.
Bye-bye.